Right, good evening. Welcome back to Virtual Pool 4 Online. We are back for some Friday night 9-ball. We've got about 5 minutes to go. Just the usual warning. This is a working week, and depending on how the tournament goes will depend whether I will be able to get it all in. If it gets past my deadline, I'm going to have to pull the plug. So that's just a warning before we start. Well, the news is we have a virtual 9-ball world championship coming up. Good evening, Mark. And it's set for March the 26th, so that's in about 3 weeks' time, something like that. And it starts at 7 p.m. and we've already got a few in. Let's have a quick look. Well, Tin said he's going to change that picture, but he hasn't got round to it yet. Good evening, welcome everybody. We've got up to 64 spots available. There are still 36 available, so that means 28 are in so far. Albinario's in, Bedhead's there, Cobra's there, Mr. Fox is there, Hazard is there, Interchange X, Jose, Larry, Linus, LS3, McClarkey, or MC Clarkey as he likes to be known, Mooncake, Mr. Bill, Mr. Strocum, Muggsy, Popman, Stubb, Sylvia, Spectre Dawn, Tommy U, and a couple of new names. Whether they'll show, we don't know, but it's going to be, what has he set it for? A race to 19 in the winner's side, 13 in the loser's side, and a final to 25. But it is a conventional tournament, so there will be jump queues. They'll lag for break, it's winner breaks, and none of this alternate break stuff. So we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, we had we must have had late sign-ups because Stubb has decided to go in. I don't know who the other one was, but according to that, it's full. There's a name there I haven't seen, and I didn't see him in the lobby. So there might be a forfeit straight away here. There's another name, Super Noob, I've never seen in a tournament. So we'll see how they go. And the bracket should be going up at any time. The event is closed. All 16 seats are taken. Race to 7 on the winner's side. Race to 4 on the one-loss side. And we'll see what the bracket throws up. Well, of course, Spectre Dawn has won 2 out of the last 3 that I've watched. He had a quiet week 2 weeks ago. Ran away with it 3 weeks ago. Won it last week, if I remember right. Or am I wrong? Maybe I am wrong. I'm losing track here. But Spectre Dawn's in again. Stubb fancies his chances this time. Larry hasn't shown up. Larry's steering well clear. And I think the bracket should be up by now. There we go. So we've got a full house. We've got Sylvia versus Christian. Stefan against Borgate. As I say, I need to have a look and see if he's in the lobby because I never saw him there. LS3 against Snakes. Mr. Strocum against Spectre Dawn. Stubb against Ansa. DJ Redo against SD92. Bankster against Chase One Around. And Dirties against Super Noob. So there's a few new names there that may or may not appear. And I can't see because of the chat. Bankster, Dirties, Fab. Oh, there's 4G there. I hope they're aware it's a double elimination tournament. So the bracket's up. The rooms should be going up any second. I'll have a quick drink. I hope I'm coming through. I'll say that again. I hope I'm coming through loud and clear. Should be streaming to Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. This is taking a while to go up. That's after 7 o'clock now. Oh, there we go. No sooner have we said it than the room has gone up. Is that Answer guy there? There he is. So no doubt he'll be getting a hefty handicap against Stubb. We've got Mr. Strocum against Spectre Dawn. And Mr. Strocum certainly will be getting a handicap now. Is he there? Yeah, he's already in the room. So we'll go in and that'll be our first match to see if Mr. Strocum can give Spectre Dawn any problems. We'll need to change the cloth colour. Oh, in fact, both players are in. They've just arrived. And we are lagging for the break. And that, I presume, nearest me is Spectre Dawn. Mr. Strocum's at the top. If that's the case, his queue hasn't showed up. It hasn't loaded yet. And if that is Spectre Dawn at the bottom, he's won the lag. And I'm totally wrong. Mr. Strocum won the lag. So, Mr. Strocum's queue is yet to appear. It should appear next. So, Mr. Strocum's getting the 6 ball. Good evening. And the break is dry. Well, I always have to change the cloth colour on the hard times table because it defaults to green. We're on the hard times table, but we're in the beach house. But the other thing is if I'm playing, if I'm practicing snooker, I set it to green because I usually go into the hard times room anyway. So I always have to switch it back to blue. As far as see, this is what bothers me. This is what's bugged me about. You've got me off in a rant again. You see, Steve doesn't understand that if you're playing a particular table in a particular room, it defaults to that tablecloth colour. So, for example, I wanted it so that you could have a blue cloth for the hard times table, and then if you put the snooker one, it goes to green. And then if you switch backward and forward, you don't have to keep changing the cloth, but you do have to keep changing the cloth. And he's never, I mean, that's just a, you know, the functionality of it is just stupid. Snooker doesn't look better in blue cloth, God's sake. So, Mr. Strocum, looking to get the use of this 6-ball money ball, but he's going to have to keep things tighter than that because that's a pretty poor safety. He's left more than a half chance here for a combo, although the 7 ball's going to the jaw. Oh, I'm not interested in that Stubb match. More interested in this one, where there could be at least some competition here. Well, is there something special about this guy, Ants? Whoever he is. Well, my VP4 must be broken then, Is that maybe the problem with mine? Every time I shut VP4 down, come back, I've got to switch the cloth to green when I go to the snooker table. Well, Spectre Dawn is going to get the first rack in the board. Well, Mr. Strokeham's, he's a 2000 rated, 2100 rated player. I'm expecting him to give Spectre Dawn a game here. And Spectre Dawn has scratched, and there is a 6-ball hanging over the pocket. And Mr. Strokeham should just nudge that 6 in with a 1, and we're all square. And I don't know whether he is whether this Mr. Strokeham is a shooter's pool player, because I certainly haven't seen him for a while. So 1 rack all. Ball in the break was the 7-ball. Now this 5-ball's a problem. Although even if you chip that 9, that 5-ball really does want to go to the point in that jaw, so it doesn't look as if it's going to go in that 5-ball. And Mr. Strokeham trying to do too many things at one time there. He should have tried to just pot the 3 and leave the angle on the 4 to run into the 5. That wasn't the right shot as far as I was concerned. He should have potted that 3-ball, got onto the 4 and left the angle to get into the 5. Then all he's done is opened it up, but again, not a particularly good safety shot from Mr. Strokeham. He's got to get this sorted out. He's played 2 safeties which have been really poor, and you can't do that against Spectre Dawn. Well, I'm afraid if you prefer the old microphone, it's lying in a drawer broken. It doesn't work. It does not work. And Spectre Dawn going to be 2-0 in front. It sounds like I'm underwater. Yeah, you haven't actually. Well, of course, the public baths are actually closed at the moment, but it sounds as if you've got water in your eardrums, because it definitely doesn't sound like I'm underwater. Now, Mr. Strokeham again. Now, Mr. 9-ball, don't think none of them won anything. Oh, that's another poor one. I mean, this is careless. It is sloppy and careless from Mr. Strokeham. And of course, it's a common mistake with a ball deep in the pocket. If you don't go and look at it, physically look at it to see how far it's into the pocket, you try to use that jaw to run around, you've got a very strong likelihood of missing the actual ball, just as Mr. Strokeham did there. But he's far too careless. 2 poor safeties, poor shot there, and he's not helping his cause. And going to get himself to this 6-ball. Was it? One of them beat Semi in the final. Semi in the final of what? What, the toy table? I can't remember. Did I stream that? Anyway, Spectre Dawn is 3-1 up, and in all honesty, the match could be totally different if Mr. Strockham would screw his head on here. I mean, the only way you're going to help your cause is by playing sensibly and focused and thinking exactly what you're doing, but the evidence is not good so far. Two poor safeties, a completely missed ball. Inspector Dawn is 3-1 up and looking like favourite to be 4-1 up in a minute. Well, this is my third day. Oh, that wiped its feet. It thought about it, and it went. Third day without a cigarette. So Spectre Dawn is not being put under any pressure, which is what I would hope Mr. Strockham would do, and he could easily have done so. I could have helped getting a ball in the break there. That's come up dry. Do you know that? You know the actual worst thing is that as soon as I put the mask on when I go to work, and I've been working for a little while, I've got terrible withdrawals with the mask on my face. I'm desperate for a cigarette with the mask on. But as long as I'm busy and thinking about stuff, I don't have time to stop and think I could do with a cigarette. As long as I'm distracted one way or another, then I'm fine. But first thing in the morning, oh dear. See this morning, no, I'm not paying for bloody chewing gum through the nose for that kind of stuff. But first thing in the morning it's bad. And see this morning when I get up, what did I reach for? And I mean, there's nothing there to reach for, but that's what I was looking for. I was looking for my fags in front of the PC and they weren't there. That's normally the first thing I do is get the box, get the kettle on and have a fag. I'd totally forgotten about that match. In fact, I dare say Semi-Pro has as well then. So, 5-1 to Spectre Dawn. And Mr. Strockham, well, for a 2,100 rated player, he's on the wrong side of the one. He's going to have to cut the 2 high. But if he can get on this 3, he should be out. Needs to brush the 6 just to kill the pace of it. Could have ended up running behind the 9. Again, just too sloppy and rushed, not really getting himself set, and that'll be, well, it should be another rack down the pan. See if my webcam's working. Yes, it is. Good evening. It looks all too easy. Spectre Dawn. I think he's got a slight angle just to come down for this 6. No, he's the wrong side, but he can bottom and right spin it if he wants. Well, he's going to have to play the old bedhead cut. Yeah, that's the worry I've got, because I mean, I've just got this tendency to want to eat so that I'm occupying. I'm doing something with my fingers. What did I have when I got home? When I got home today, I had Tesco do the oh well, there's a gift and a half for Mr. Strocum. This will get me second rack in the board. At least it should do if he doesn't try running around the angles again. Tesco do the packs of the chunks of chicken that they do. They do barbecue ones, and they do peri peri, and they do all sorts of chicken chunks. Well, they do one that's tandoori chicken. Oh, it's lovely. When I got home from work the day, I just burst open the packet, lobbed it onto a plate, nuked it for 2 minutes, had that and a cup of coffee, so that was just a light snack. And then for my tea tonight, I had 2 quarter pounder chicken burgers on buttered rolls, or baps as you call them, or whatever you want to call them, and a cup of coffee, and that's all I've had. And that's all I've had since 9 o'clock this morning, which is not an awful lot to eat. 9 o'clock this morning I had a coronation chicken sandwich and a bottle of sort of orangey stuff. I can't remember what it's called. But honestly, I don't eat an awful lot really during the day. So, Spectre Dawn 5-2 up at the table. A difficult 1 in the 4. And he looks as if he doesn't do any of this cue ball, he'll be running over towards the 6 and the 8 here. He's just trying to bank it in. That was excellent. Very well played. And now the tough one. What does he do to get on this 6? The 6 squeezes past the 8. He's the wrong side of the 5. Big draw. Needs to slow up. Well, he's got the angle certainly to go over for the 7. There's not a problem there. It's all about just running this into the corner. Oh, but that, I'll tell you, that the thing is that the tandoori chicken, it's not chicken breast, it's chicken thigh meat, which is even better. And lovely and tangy. Oh, what a sitter there by Spectre Dawn. Well, of course, Spectre Dawn trying to get down for the 9 there. He didn't exactly have the perfect angle, I don't think. Trying just to force it. And Mr. Strocum can get the bank. I don't think he will. He would have had a chance, but look at this. He's got second prize here. He might get another bite at the cherry yet. And Stubb, the results come through. Stubb has beaten Ants 7 racks to 2. Meanwhile, Spectre Dawn gets the hit. And Mr. Strocum is going to have to go up and down the table here for this 9 unless he tries to run off the rail into the 9. to hold it and then get lucky. Well, he's deciding to leave again. Bedhead territory here. But this, to get another one back. And that won't do, I'm afraid. Should have ran up and down the table. That way you're guaranteed to, you should have a better shot than that high angle. Wit has showed me around your seaside town this morning. So, the break by Spectre Dawn has come up dry, and Mr. Strocum trying to bank the 6 in with the 1. No joy. And we've got a few results come through there. And Borgie has beaten Stefan 7 racks to 4. And Super Noob has beaten Dirties by 7 racks to 0. So who are these people? This guy, Borgie, and Super Noob. As far as I'm concerned, their first big tournament, and they both won. So they must have been certainly getting a stack of handicap. And I would have thought Dirties would have had more experience there than to what looks like sell out to 7-0, even with a handicap. Gully Maps. Some guy said, "Oi, are you filming me?" Well, Mr. Strocum's got another gift, but he's going to have to play a good shot here from the 5 to get on this 6 ball. And the ideal shot is just to run into the 9 ball, a bit like that, but not too close, so you can leave it awkward. That will do. So just the 6 ball down the rail. Well, see, I've never seen that name, Super Noob, but I'm surprised he won 7-0. And this time, Mr. Strocum gets the break. The 1 ball and the 4 has gone. He's on the 2. And the only problem is his money ball is hidden behind the 9. Oh, he's overcut that. Well, far too many errors here from Mr. Strocum. Unforced errors. And that's something, if he's going to be, I don't know whether he's signed up to the virtual 9-ball World Championship, but Spectre Dawn's taking the opportunity to bust open the 6. Now, does he bank the 5 up past the 6? Well, he's deciding to run for cover, and he's played a good safety. That's excellent. I don't know whether there's a big enough gap between that 9 and 8. Maybe there is. Yes, there is. And that's not a bad result either. So now things might get interesting if Mr. Strocum can pinch another one back. And Spectre Dawn certainly should be aware of that. He's on the hill, he needs 1. And I don't know whether that's a particularly good safety. It is not. That is the first poor one from Spectre Dawn. Now, can Mr. Strocum take the advantage this time to get back within 2? Oh, I forgot to check my little doodle. That'll do. So, Mr. Strocombe breaks off, 4 ball goes in, 8 ball goes in, and, well, no shot in the 1, but he can certainly put Spectre Dawn in trouble here. Oh, another poor one. Really sloppy and careless stuff here from Mr. Strocombe. You know, he's just rushing into shots and not getting himself set, and he's just playing silly, careless mistakes. And, well, he's in trouble because he can't get a clear shot at the 1, but he's only got himself to blame. And if he loses it from this shot here, then he only has to look at the shot that he played. And he's certainly going to give Spectre Dawn his best chance he's going to get. Ball in hand. And all from another poor shot. Not that one there, but the one previously by Mr. Strocombe. So he deserves all he gets. Brought it all in himself. I think Spectre Dawn's got a bit straight on this too. He's going to have to just use a wee bit of spin. Get that cue ball across. And again, he's just the wrong side of the 3, so maybe just draw back unless he wants to force something one way or another. But the simplest shot, just draw back and give yourself an open angle. Now he's got a choice as to how he gets on the 6. He can go right around the corner, come right down the bottom of the table like that to take it into the middle. And if he keeps going and keeps going like that, he's got a perfect angle just to run through for the 7. And so this match is over, barring a catastrophe. But it's mostly self-inflicted. The fact that the chances that Spectre Dawn's been given, he's took them. And Spectre Dawn was getting all the assistance he could get from Mr. Strocombe, more than generous he's been. And if had he got rid of those careless shots, it might not have been 6-4 at the moment, but it's now 7. So Mr. Strocombe over to the 1 loss side, Spectre Dawn straight through to round 2. So let's have a quick look at the bracket and we'll get that updated. So Sylvia is what's that? Is that 5-4 she's trailing, giving the 6 ball to Christian. That 4G guy is through, having beaten Stefan 7 racks to 4, and LS3's 4-2 down against Snakes. And well, this one's still to update, but the Spectre Dawn match should update any second. There we go. And Stubb is through, having beaten Ansa, who was getting 7 and out. And Stubb is waiting to play the winner of DJ Redo and SD92. SD92 is 4-2 up. And Bankster and Chase One Around. Chase One Around's getting 5 and out. He's 5-3 up. And Super Noob, having beaten Dirty 7-0, he's waiting on the winner of that match. So Super Noob last week has joined, not suspicious at all. Ah, right, so let's go in and we'll have a spy on him when he's playing. Right, so what match is fairly close? Well, Sylvia's 6-4 down now, giving the 6 ball to Christian. Let's have a look at that. Can I adjust that a wee bit? So, Sylvia with it all to do, and Christian with ball in hand has well, again, another sloppy, careless effort. Everybody seems to be in a hurry at this tournament. I don't know why. I mean, what's the point of having a shot clock when you're racing to do everything all the time? And I don't think Sylvia has any great intentions of staying for any length of time in this tournament either. Good evening, Cobra. We're going to have a look at this super noob guy. He's won his first match 7-0. And seemingly he's just a new name, a new profile in VP4. So we'll have a spy on him. We'll soon know by looking at him if he knows what he's doing. So Sylvia, thin cut in the 5 if she wants to go for it. Yes, she does. And now she's going to get rid of Christian's money ball. The 6 ball to go. Not easy to get on the 7. Just trying to drop in behind the 8. That's not bad. Nice angle to roll the 7 in and run out to leave a reasonable shot. Oh, she decided to stun it in the middle. Now with this shot, she's going to have to come back off the 8. And she's going to run low. Is she going to hold there? Yeah, he might just show up for this tournament and then disappear. Just like Barker's. So Sylvia back within 1 in this race to 7. Yeah, as Elvis said, a little less conversation, a little more action, please. Thank you very much. So the break is dry. Well, good opportunity for a half-decent safety here, but again, you see what happens when you don't think about what you're doing. Exactly what you've just seen there. Christian's just put no thought whatsoever into what he's doing, and he just left Sylvia a free goal. Could have played a far, far better safety shot than that. That was awful. And the minute somebody starts using their head, they'll be amazed at how much better a player they are. So, just a warning to any latecomers. Well, we're half an hour into the tournament, but whether I can go all the way with this tonight, I don't know. We've got a full house in, which has been less than what we've had the last few weeks, but the tournament still lasted 3.5 hours, so I don't know whether I'll be able to stay the pace for that tonight. And it's going to get to the point where I'm probably going to have to pull the plug on it. And of course, the other problem with that as well is that in a couple of weeks' time, the clocks go forward. And that means obviously that instead of the tournament starting at 7 PM GMT, it will be starting at 8 PM British Summer Time in a couple of weeks' time, which means it's an hour later for me again, so even less likelihood I'm ever going to be able to stream a full tournament during the summer other than when I get a week off. And the earliest time I'm going to have that is I think it's the first week of the World Snooker Championships. I've got that week off. I usually always have that week off. And that'll be the next Friday night 9-ball, unless, and I say unless, and Tim's never done it yet, he changes the start time of Friday night 9-ball to keep it at 7 PM rather than letting it go with the clock. If he keeps it at 7, I've got more chance of streaming more of them. If he lets it go and doesn't do anything, then there'll be less likelihood of any of them done, especially during the summer. So, Christian needs the 6 ball, and that's not going to get there, and Sylvia has got the perfect angle on the 6 to run it in and come out for the 7 to square this match up and go to a final rack decider. Now, problem with that is the slight angle against that 7, and you want to put a bit of inside, but you don't want to hook yourself behind the 9. So she's going across the way, and that's a sensible shot. Trying to get cute would lead to problems. Oh dear. Well, that is really, really poor from Sylvia, and this is like a disease it's catching. And from staring down, a final rack decider. Well, Christian's overhit that, so we still might get a chance of that. Sylvia's hanging on by a thread here. Christian looking as if he's going for the cut. And this time, well, she's got to pot this. So this, to take it all the way. And of course, winner breaks. And the sponsor is the Billiard Channel. Ball in the break, was it? Yep, we've lost the 7. And there is a shot in the 1 and an angle to run off the rail and get out for that 2 into the top right hand corner. And that little brush off the 7 just left it a wee bit more awkward. That's overcut, I think. Yep. And of course now, the problem ball for Christian is that 4 ball. And he's just, again, not really thinking about what he's doing. He's drawn it straight into the middle pocket. And Sylvia has to be punishing that. But she's going to have to get on this 4. Now the 4 goes past the 8. That's not the problem. The problem is you've got to get good on the 4 to make it a simple pot. And that running into the 5 hasn't helped. She would have been a good pace there in that cue ball to be more or less staring on the 4. And of course makes it much more difficult to judge the cut. So this time Christian with 3 balls to pot here. 6 ball wide open. And once again overcutting the 4. And certainly playing like a 1780 odd player. Careless shots. It's almost as if some of these players don't want to spend too much time actually looking at a shot before they play it. As if it's some sort of cardinal sin to actually have a look and see what you're about to do. Or what you have to do in order to pot it. They're just so desperate to get the shot over with. And Snakes has beaten LS3 by 7 racks to 2. And meanwhile, Christian has missed a cut in the 5. And again, it's a gift of an opportunity for Sylvia to run the 5 in. And really she should be out. There's absolutely no excuse to mess this up. Oh, the yawning started. Oh dear. So, Sylvia is going to get out of jail, but she's been ably assisted by Christian. That has to be said. So she wins the final rack 7-6 to Sylvia. And now we'll have a quick look and see how things are shaping up here. We have the result just come through from Sylvia. She's going to be playing this new guy, Forgate. Meanwhile, we have Chase won a round against Bankster. And according to that, Chase won a round is 6-5 up. And the winner of that is going to play this guy, Super Noob, who we're going to get an eye on. So let's go in and see the end of this match if it hasn't already just finished. We're now 6 racks all with Bankster and Chase won a round. And Chase won a round getting 5 and out. So Bankster has to be careful. I think we saw Chase won a round last week. He's a relatively new player, but I'll be honest with you, I think a lot of the time he's playing under the influence of various concoctions that he's consuming, whether it be alcohol related or other substances, I don't know, but I had him on Discord one morning, and he certainly seems to be under the influence of something. So Bankster, now can he see enough of that too to pot it? Just. But going to have to get lucky to get good on this 3 to get it anywhere, because it doesn't go anywhere. But once again, Bankster should be able to roll that 3 past the 9 and just bury the cue ball. Maybe not. I think it's a bit tight by the look of it. Yep, he's managed to do it. That's all you do. You make sure you keep it tight. Especially when you're given 5 and out. You cannot afford to do something silly. You've got to force your opponent into making a mistake. And this is where the pressure's on Bankster, because he's won the prize, he's got ball in hand, and as soon as he pots the 3 and 4, everything's a money ball for Chase won a round, and Bankster's got the pressure piled on him to actually run out, because of course he has to get everything to win the rack. All that Chase won a round needs to do now is just wait and Bankster make the mistake like that, because Bankster is trying to get 3 fouls here on his opponent, and he's going to have no chance of doing that when he can't play the actual safety properly in the first place. And the other thing is, well, Chase won a round's helping him, because the 4 and the 7 were tied up. Chase won a round's ran into them, opened them up, and Bankster won't get a better chance of winning this match, but I think he's scared to do it. He doesn't have the confidence to try and run the table. He's going to go for fouls each time. And why not? Now, as Chase won a round on his second foul, this will be it for the match then if he doesn't hit this. Am I right in thinking that? I could be wrong. It's not often I'm wrong. Well, he's not going to get it from that angle. He's going to try to go one rail. Yeah. That might be it. Yeah, it is. So Bankster wins on the 3 fouls. And has won the final rack decider. So Bankster is now going to be playing this chap called Super Noob. So we're going to have a give him the once over. Meanwhile, Sylvia is 1-0 up against Forgate. Snakes is 1-0 down against Spectre Dawn. Stubb is about to start his match with SD92, and Bankster is about to get it on with Super Noob. So we'll go in there. I'll have a quick drink. And Super Noob looks as if he's won the lag. And he's getting the 8. What's he getting? He's getting a 6 ball, but he's scratched on the break. So if he's just what did we say? How long has he been in VP4 or under this name, whoever he is? Because if he's been playing 9 ball, he's been winning quite a few of his matches then, because he would have started at 1500 and he's now at 1870 odd. So that would tend to suggest that he's no mug. I can't see the flag for the chat, but he's got no. He hasn't updated his profile. But as I say, I can't see anything for the chat. So Super Noob is player 2. He's getting the 6 ball as his extra money ball. Well, he's checked the cue ball to come down the left hand side. He's playing with a house cue. It's not Yamaguchi Taru, is it? Well, he's overhit that one. And he's miscued, which is what you're likely to do with a house cue if you try and put too much spin on it, because the miscue area on the cue ball when you play with a house cue is larger than it is on a normal playing cue, so you're more likely to miscue if you try and do fancy things. And so Bankster has, well, not a great chance here now, because he's going to be running into this 9 ball. He's trying to draw off it. He's managed to do it and played it well, but has to go all the way. And again, playing that with loads of inside right when he didn't generally need to. You don't need to have that much to get great on the 8 ball. You just need to have an angle on the 8 ball. And he might have got away with it. It's too close for the billiard, I think. So Super Noob playing the safety. I would just tuck that up the rail and bring that cue ball over behind the 9. Just glance it up the rail. Well, he's gone all out. It's all or nothing for Bankster, and that's how he's going to sell out. Not the sensible shot to do. Okay, you're a hero if you bank it and you get it in, but much easier and simpler to play the safety. Oh dear. Of course, the other problem with the house cue is you don't have as much power in it to get that cue ball moving. So you've got to make your best use of the spin that you can to get the action in the cue ball. to get it running. Well, he's definitely no super noob. Let's have a look. Bring that up to have a look at his profile. Where the hell is it? The US flag. There, he's won a stack of matches there in a challenge room. Yeah, he's won a whole stack of them there, which is bringing his rating up. So, sticking with the US flag, but of course, whatever flag you have doesn't necessarily mean that that's where you're from. But he's 1-0 up against Bankster. And again, he was ably assisted by Bankster going all out for the bank when the sensible safety shot was on. And is he going to punch this 5 around the table, avoid the 7, kill the cue ball? That's what he's trying to do. Don't think he's quite got there. Now, Bankster can cut this 5 inside the 9, get it to the top rail, and risk the scratch coming down here towards the 6. But that's the shot, and he's ran it into the 9. But he's not bad for the safety. Well, of course, the other thing about the Virtual World Championship is it's not handicapped, so Super Noob's not going to get any benefit. He's going to have to do things the hard way. At the moment, he's getting the 6 ball in this match. He's not a gratis player though, isn't he not? He's not gratis. He's just not bought any cues. So, Super Noob getting the benefit of the 6 ball there. And he's now 2-0 up. Ball in the break. And he beat, who was it he beat in the first round? It was Dirties. I mean, I can tell you exactly, Dirties would not be, would be doing the same thing as, he'd be doing the same thing as Bankster's doing, not using the head. You know, if you accept the fact that you're not good enough to be running racks, then you've got to make sure your opponent can. But none of these guys have got enough sense to do that. Once you get a good few safeties in, Bankster, that's what you want to be doing. And then making the most of them when you get your chance. Well, Super Noob doesn't have a playing cue, but he's bought himself a jump cue. That definitely sounds like Yamaguchi Taru. Well, he's got the hit. Bankster on the 2 is going to have to jump to escape as well. Now again, the shot is just a thin cut along the rail and try and use the 4 and 9 to block it. But again, he's going for all sorts here. And look at the trouble he's ended up in now. He's cannoned onto the 7, potted the 7, and the 4 balls ran across and blocked him on the 3. Well, I don't think he could be any worse position than this. But again, not the right shot to be playing. Because again, all it's done is gifted Super Noob a free go. And this is where common sense has to come into play, and well, Bankster's not shown much evidence of it because he's trying to be a hero when he doesn't meet the criteria to be a hero. You've got to know your limitations, I'm afraid. And this is just a sellout. Oh yeah, there's a sniff about Yamaguchi Taro about this guy. Trying to get himself back into the swing in VP4. But it's 3-0. Well, that's not a great safety by Super Noob, but I think he may well have just come to the conclusion he just has to bide his time and wait on Bankster doing something daft just to give him a go. And that needed to get across a bit more. This is awkward. This 3 ball. It's a thin cut. And the cue ball's running across the table. No guarantee he's going to be anywhere near good on this sport. But he's, again, had a blast at it. And actually overcut it at the end of the day. But he's got away with it. Super Noob. I don't know if there's enough of the 3 to cross bank it. He tried it. And that's ended up no man's land. There is a cut back on here for Bankster. Now, the 4 ball's up the top end of the table, is it? Or is that the 8? No, the 4 ball's down here. Now, there's a lot to do here. Big distance between the cue ball and the 4 ball. And the 5 ball is at the opposite end of the table. And the 5 ball doesn't bank past the 9. And it doesn't go past the 8. So there's only one place it's going to go, or 2 places. Either bank up that side of the table. Well, he's done his best to get onto the 5. And the 4 ball is hanging though. Super Noob is going to have to play the combo. And in goes the 6. And it's 4-0. And he's heading for another 7-0 here. Super Noob. Yamaguchi Taro, I should say. mind you, when you think about it, if it was Yama, it's just gone 8 o'clock here. Now, if you add on, it's about 4 o'clock in the morning in Tokyo, so it's unlikely to be him, unless he's living in the States, because it's very late. In fact, it's early morning, almost 3-4 a.m. in the morning in Tokyo. But nevertheless, it's 4-0, and Bankster, I don't know whether he can squeeze the one past to 8. It's very tight, and trying to get a half decent safety in, which he's managed to do. And Super Noob will be out with his, he's either going to kick it or be out with the jump stick. And there's the result through. Christian has beaten Stefan in the one loss side in the final rack. 4 racks to 3. And meanwhile, Bankster gets his reward. He's got ball in hand. And Stubb has beaten SD92, 7 racks to 1. And if this cue ball slows up, let's have a look. Well, if he'd ran a wee bit further, it would have been perfect to just run around off the top rail and over to the far side of the 3 ball to take it into this corner. It's just, there's just too much angle for comfort here. Yeah, he's managed to hold it. He's running high on it. Well, that's the first hurdle overcome. Now, is Bankster going to be good enough to get these balls and get a rack in the board? I have my doubts, because he's going to have to get onto the 6, and from the 6 to the 7 it looks simple enough. Now, is this the big draw with no real thought of what he's doing here? Well, he's drawing bottom side, and well, he's got a slight angle, but that means that he's going to be further away up the table on this 7 ball. And now he's going to end up dead straight, and he might try and pinch too much here. Yeah, he is absolutely dead straight, and I don't think he's aiming at that properly. Maybe he was just trying to steal as much of the pocket as he could, but he's got it there. Maybe my eyes are going. Well, my eyes are going, I know that. So just one more to get this cue ball up onto the 9 without scratching, and he's heading towards it, but he's going to be okay. Eight's in a good spot. Oh, I mean, that last rack. So Bankster's off the mark. Still trailing by 4 racks to 1. Now, quick look at the bracket and just see how things are going with the results that have come through there. We've got Stubb waiting to play the winner of this match, which should be interesting. We've got Sylvia, who's 5-3 up against Forgate. We've got Snakes, who's getting the 5 ball, but he's trailing by 6 racks to 1. So Spectre Dawn is breezing through this tournament already tonight so far, but something's going to have to give sooner or later. And we've got the match with Bankster and Super Noob. Now over on the one loss side, Chase won a round. It's 2-all with Dirties, Answer and DJ Redo. And DJ Redo's 3-2 up in that match. We've got Mr. Strocum 1-0 up against SD92. So that is us up to date. And meanwhile, we have Super Noob with ball in hand on the 1. And he's made a complete hash of that one, because he's miscued again. And this is the thing about having this house queue. The other reason somebody would miscue a few times with the house queue is because they are so used to playing with a playing queue, and that's another reason to suggest that this is somebody in a different profile, where they're not spending money to buy a playing queue, but they're buying a jump queue, and they're not used to playing with a house queue, so they don't know that there's a much bigger target area for miscues on that house queue, and that's why he's making those mistakes. That's usually a giveaway, that one. And anyway, it's now 4-2 to Super Noob. Bankster playing the safety, he's got the cover, but Super Noob's got the jump queue. Looks easy enough to jump that from here. I don't know what he was trying to do, he's just trying to skim off the 1 and run for cover, but again, with the amount of spin he was putting in the cue ball, it was always going to miscue. You put far too much on it. In fact, you can't get away with putting a lot of spin on it with a house queue, because it won't do it. And Bankster has got another chance to get another rack back. He's got work to do though. And Spectre Dawn comfortably through. Bankster on the 3, 4 down the rail, 5 in the middle pocket. He's got to get up the table. Yeah, I think he had ball in hand. That looks a good pace. Controlled the draw very well in that shot. That's the difficult one. That shot there that he's just played is a difficult one to play with Larry's trackball. That's the one that's a hard shot to play. So Bankster is going to get back to within 1. And with the break, six ball goes in. And I don't think he's... Has he got a sight in this one? Yes, he has. Now it's thin, and he's going to be extremely fortunate to get a shot in the 2. Well, is it going to go in? Well, there's a prize if ever there was one. He's plumb on the 2. He doesn't want to hook himself behind the 9, but he's flipped to 1. And if he can just take his time, drop this 3 in, drop the 4 in, he'll be on the 5 with a half decent angle to get back out for that 7 ball over the left middle. So this is all about just knowing what you're doing and how you're going to get there. Now he's got to move over the right hand side here, out into the table, if he's going to make it easy to get back for the 8. So you see he's not went through with the shot enough, but he's actually straight enough that he can draw back off it. He wanted to be further up the table, but that will do. And likewise with this shot, he can either go out into the table to the right, or he can just go up and down the table and then hope he gets lucky. Well, he's gone down. He's just got to hope the pace is right, and that's not bad at all. Giving himself every chance here to get himself right back in it. Oh, and that's the careless shots that you have to cut out. That was not a difficult 9. And from 4-0 down, it was all square. And he sold that one down the river. And this is what I'm talking about. Careless, silly shots. Where, you know, you're just not setting yourself up to play the shot. Not having a look at the line of it. Taking no time over it at all, and then you pay the ultimate price. Should have been 4-all and gifted it to his opponent. So the push out played. Well, if you're going to play after the push out and not give it back to your opponent, then you've got to get a decent safety in, and Bankster's failed on all counts here. Although Super Noob hasn't got himself good on the 2. I think there's enough of that 2 showing here. I think there's just enough of it. This has got to be delicate or up and down the table. Yeah, it was always going to be asking a lot to hold enough for the 3. He's got the cut and he's got a nice line to come down the table, but he's hung up the 3. So all of these unforced errors are once again kicking in for Bankster. He'd done the hard work, getting it back to 4-3, was almost on the brink of 4-all. He's gifted that rack, and well, he's given Super Noob a chance here, albeit not an easy one now. Is he going to try and cut the 5 onto the 9? Yes, he is. And Bankster breathes again. Now again, the shot to play is to cut that 5 to the rail, to send it down there, run the cue ball around and get down and get distance. That would be a possible safety. Well, the saving grace here is that 7 ball's been kicked, although it's not a difficult combo. But where's the 5 ball going to end up? Because you're going to have to cut it. Well, he's had a blast to knock it in off the 7. And that might add to his chances of running this rack. Well, mind you, he doesn't need to. He only needs a 6 ball, doesn't he? Yeah. And all of a sudden, from it looking like being 4 racks all, Super Noob's now on the brink. And you can see how much softer the brakes are with the house cue as well. There's no power in it at all. The brake is dry. And Dirties has beaten Chase 1 around. 4 racks to 2 on the 1 lost side. And yet another result through, and well, Sylvia was in the lead in that match against Forgate, and Forgate has beaten her in the final rack decider, 7 racks to 6. Let's have a quick look. And Forgate is through to play Spectre Dawn. The winner of this match goes through to play Stub. So I reckon that when this match is over, we'll go into that other match to have a look at this guy, Forgate, who's somebody that I've never seen before. Super Noob banks a 6 and wins the match by 7 racks to 3. So that now sets up a match between Super Noob and Stub, and Super Noob will be getting 5 and out, I would think, and Forgate is getting 6 and out, I think, and a weird lot of numbers next to his name. Let's join it. They're about to lag off, and well, again, I can't see where Forgie's flag is. Let's have a look at this one. Well, he's from what? Is that Finland? That could be but how long did it say he's 7th of the 7th, 16 or 18, is it? Right, anyway. So, player 1 is Forgate. He's getting 6 and out against Spectre Dawn. Spectre Dawn should be 1-0 up with ball in hand. So Spectre Dawn off and running again. 1-0 up. The break is dry though. Now Forgie has to be careful here. Yeah, he's trying to punch that around the table, but didn't stun the cue ball enough to lock it in behind the 9. Be interesting to see if this Forgie guy has a jump cue the same as the other one. Well, we won't know from that shot. But he's got the hit. And he's got it reasonably safe. I say reasonably safe. Spectre Dawn trying to use all of the pocket there. Didn't quite get it. Ah, Forgie has a playing cue. Maybe it just didn't. It just hadn't loaded. That's probably what it was. That's going to be over the middle. So once again, the safety shots are leaving a lot to be desired here so far tonight. And this is all the encouragement that the Spectre Dawn needs. A nice wide open table. Just to let the cue ball get into the spaces. Plenty of room to manoeuvre. although he's got a lot more angle on this 4 than he wanted, but he's managed to kill the pace, trying to hold it as best he can for the 5, but again he's left it in that bedhead territory. That needs to keep going or slow up, one of the two, and that will do nicely. That is perfect. So 2-0 to Spectre Dawn. Let's jump in and have a look at how Stubb's doing. We haven't seen Stubb tonight, but player 2, Super Noob, is getting 6 and out, and Stubb at the table. I'm just going to have to work the cue ball a wee bit here with this 5 to get down onto the 7. And that's perfect. Now once Stubb gets the measure of his opponent, it'll determine how loose and careless he's going to be with his shots. Then it's a question of whether Super Noob's going to be good enough to take any chances. But he's not going to be doing much with safety. Again, the standard of safety is really poor. That is an awful shot. No judgment of pace whatsoever on that one, and just giving Stubb a free go. That was an almost conceding defeat shot, that there, on that one ball. Stubb, if he's going to be... Oh yeah, yes. Well, that's what happened to that guy. That guy that entered the previous snooker tournament, not the one recently. What's his name? He ended up having about 2 or 3 accounts in the tournament, and he got banned. Can't remember his name. Napnicker will remember his name. And Stubb, as I was thinking there, he's got to warm up in this cue ball control. He needs to get it tighter. But as I say, he's not getting any pressure put upon him when you consider that from the position Stubb is in at the moment is all through a really, really poor safety shot from his opponent. So Stubb's administering the ultimate punishment. You know, if you're going to just leave really poor safety shots. I'm just going to clear the table. And we've got to really get tightened up in the safety. And the standard from all the players I've seen so far tonight has been really, really poor. And Super Noob misses a kick. Now, didn't have to do that. He could have played a push out, could he not? Because that was a dry break. And again, it's just another free goal for Stubb. All the ball sitting there wide open. And, well, this should be 3-0 in the space of 2 minutes. Well, I've not seen a lot of brilliant new players. You must be watching players I'm not seeing. There's only been one good player turned up, and that was for that snooker tournament. That Barker's guy, and he's disappeared, and he's never been back since. That's the only one that was you would class as a good player. The rest of them have all been ordinary. The stuff I've seen tonight. There's two new names in this tournament tonight, and there's nothing that is going to scare you. Well, Stubbs usually reluctant to use the jump cue. And now he's at the old hit and hope. And he's got away with it. Again, the safety is not great. It's rushed and not a great deal of thought put into it. Well, Stubb just really wants to dig into this 7, unless he wants to come across 2 rails. Well, he's trying to run. See, if he'd dragged into that 7, he wouldn't have left it so high on the 8. Well, he's dug that one out, and he's going to be 3-0. Well, I don't think Steve's going to do anything. I don't think he's got anything against somebody having multiple accounts as long as they're bought and paid for. It's money in his coffers. As if you've got multiple accounts and you're doing something dodgy that he's he's going to take action on. He's not going to take action. I mean, Sylvia is in with her Sylvia account tonight. The first time for a long time. She was in last night in her Wiley account. So she's got at least 2 active accounts. Her original account which she had in VP3. She brought that out of the cupboard last night. And now she's back to her Sylvia account tonight. So they're all at it. And if Sylvia can do it, so can anybody else that wants to, as long as it's a bought and paid for account. I've got an awful notion for a cigarette right now. I'm going to have to get a drink. Now, is Stubb going to get greedy here and try and do something, or is he just trying to drop down? Well, this is where it can go wrong, because obviously he's going to hit the 9, and he doesn't really know where everything's going to end up. He's trying to spin out to get onto the 8, but he's really got no 100% guarantee that he's going to get there. And that's what I'm talking about. That's how easily things can go wrong. When you're running into that 9, you just don't know. Well, is he lining up the cut? Looks like it. And I think he's just overcut it. Yeah. And so Super Noob is going to have to pot the 8 and the 9 because his extra money ball is gone. And once again, he's overhit that. No, wait a minute, it's 6 and out, isn't it? I was thinking it was just a 6 ball. Yes, it is 6 and out. So that's a gift. A gift for Super Noob. Well, this match could turn on its head very rapidly here. Certainly if Super Noob had played a better shot on the 2 to the 3, but he's still got the thin cut. And he's overcut it. And that might be his chance gone. Now this could glance off the 9 by the look of it, or it might just miss it. He's got to get this thin. Once again, it's ended up in no man's land. Pressure's on here, Stubb, a wee bit to get this. Yeah. And he's missed the 4. That was just asking too much there. Now, Super Noob's got to go all out for the cut here. It ain't going to bank. And he's had a go at it. How's his luck? He's going to get away with it unless Stubb plays the reverse bank. Now that's a big pocket up the top end of the table where the 8 ball is on the right hand side. So if Stubb sends it to the inside rail and the long rail, it could run off it. But he's got it pretty clean. Well, Super Noob had his chance to quickly turn the match there, but he's let it go. And Stubb back to the comfort, I'll say that again, back to the comfort zone of the 3 rack lead, 4 racks to 1. The break is dry, but look at that 8 ball hanging over the bottom left hand corner pocket, trying to get a nudge on it, and a quick rack for Super Noob. And a ball in the break. The 5 ball's gone, shot in the 1. Now got to make sure he can see this 2 ball, because that 9 ball is a hindrance where it's sit. And he's had a blast up and down. Well, he's got there one way or another. He's got the cut in the 2. And he's still going to have to either leave a bank in the 3. Although does the 3 squeeze past that 9? That's too tight. And that needs to slow up to give him the cut angle to run this 3 down the rail past the 7. But he's decided it's much easier to play a good safety, and that was good thinking. common sense has prevailed at last. We've got a half decent safety to put the pressure on Stubb. Well, how do you think of that one? Stubb goes for the kick. He gets the glance onto the 7, and he knocks the 3 in as well. I think it was a 3. And from what was looking like a great chance, possibly for Super Noob, Stubb has kicked his way out of it, albeit with a bit of luck. And it's going to be 5-2. And meanwhile, back in the other match, we've got Spectre Dawn on the hill against Forgate, 6-2 up. Stubb is 5-2 up in this match. And of course, both the winners from this match, or the winner from this match and the other match, are going to meet. So it's looking like it's going to be Stubb against Spectre Dawn, although stranger things have happened. Meanwhile, DJ Riru has beaten Snakes 4-2 in the one loss side. Well, he should be out here. Absolutely no problem in the table. Well, he's tried to come. I thought he could have just ran through the gap of the 4 and 5. Again, he's leaving it more awkward for himself. Had he been able to get through the gap, he would have finished on the right hand side for this 3 ball down past the 9. So now he's playing at distance, and it just means he's got more to do with the cue ball to get good on this 5. Again, it's going to be slightly into a blind pocket, and queuing slightly over the 7 as well. Spectre Dawn has won his match, and that's why it's so difficult, because he was hindered over that 7 ball, and Super Noob is going to get a quick rack again here with Ada Stubbs' error, and it's back to 5-3. And a ball in the break again for Super Noob. How's his luck? Now he's going to either have to get a decent safety here, get that 1 up the table. Well, that's pretty good. That's got Stubb in trouble, and the other problem is that with ball in hand here, he's got a choice of comboing the 6 or the 7. They're none of them dead easy, but Stubb's got to try and disturb something, and that's so difficult because he's so tight in behind the 8. So this match might well turn on this shot here. And if I was Stubb, I would just blast at things down there to try and move stuff out the way. But he's going to be struggling to get a clean hit in anything. Yep. And in the end, he's missed everything in scratch. So ball in hand and a choice of combos for Super Noob. if he can pick this one out, it's another quick rack. And he's back within one. And that's how quick it is to change the course of a match. And Stubbs going to be feeling the pinch now. And look at where the 9 ball's gone. But I don't think he's got a ball in the break this time. Has he? No, the break is dry. And what's more, the 2 ball's pretty safe unless Stubb leaves the bank on the 2, because he'll have the 3-9 if he can get a sight on it. So I think Stubb will have made his mind up. He's going to, well, he's running through to try and get over behind the 2. He might end up in trouble here, and he has done. He'd have been better to leave the bank on the 2. The bank on the 2 looked a lot easier to get to than it did trying to get good on the 2. And, well, the only thing that's the lifesaver here for Stubb is the fact that Super Noob can't get a clean shot in the 2. And he's went all out for the cut. It was never going to cut in, but he's got the safety part of it. And Stubbs had a blast at the 2, but he's not got it this time. Now, can Super Noob get a cut on this 3 if he can pot the 2 and get the combo? He needs to have a good look at it first. And then it goes. And all of a sudden, we are all square. And this is exactly how to make use of the handicap. And that looked like a ball in the break again. And a shot in the 1. The 3 ball has gone. The 2 ball's at the top end of the table. So he's going to have to work this house cue to get on that too. And Stubb now under extreme pressure. And Super Noob, knowing his limitations with that cue, is deciding just to keep it tight. And that's the right thing to do. Let Stubb make the mistakes. And Stubb, I'm surprised he's not digging the jump cue out. He's went for the kick. He's got the legal shot, but the 2 ball's going to be on. Oh, this is dead straight. Now, he can only really try and draw out into the table, but he can't really get enough into it with that stick. And now he's got himself in trouble. And that's going to end up safe, I think. And Stubbs got reasonable cover here for a half decent safety. So he should be in control at the end of this shot. That'll do it. Well, he's out with the jump stick again. And in goes the 4. Well, it's either the thin cut or the reverse bank on this 5 to give it 2 goes to go in. But don't forget, it's 6 and out he's got. So he's got to get this 5 and the 6. And that 6 gets kicked by the 9. Oh, what's happened here? Oh, he can get it. He can just get it. And this for the lead. And Super Noob is on the brink here. No, Henry didn't get smoked. I watched the whole of the match. Matthew Selt isn't getting any credit for this. Matthew Selt never missed a long pot in the whole match. So, and Henry didn't play bad. He just didn't get any great chances because Matthew Selt played good safety, and the safety that Henry played, he played a couple of weak safety shots, and from them Matthew Selt potted a ball and got in. So any other night Henry might have got 2 or 3 frames, but I mean he did well to get one, and he did well from the fact that he's playing on a match table that he hasn't played on for years, and he managed to get a century. So he's done not bad in his first match, considering. I thought he didn't play bad in that Seniors World Championship he was in as well. Anyway, back to more important matters. We've got Stubb in trouble here. Under pressure. Trailing by 6 racks to 5 against Super Noob, who's getting 6 and out. And Stubb has played the combo onto the 9 to take it all the way. And with the break in the final rack, and Spectre Dawn is lying in wait for the winner of this match, and that should be the hot seat match tonight, I think. Let's have a quick look. No, it isn't. I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, Spectre Dawn's waiting in the winner, whoever that's going to be. Stubb is keeping it tight. Got the cue ball locked. Now, as long as Super Noob does not move that 5 and 6 off this shot. Well, that's a good hit. Oh, what a result there. What a result. Kicks the 1, cue ball left behind the 5 and 9. And Stubb having to kick and hope. Well, Stubb could be in trouble again here. Unless Super Noob's going all out to try and play the combo. And again he's got cover. So once again Stubb with the pressure stacked on him to get a hit and get it safe. Now there's not a money ball over the pocket here. So that's the lifesaver for Stubb. There's only the 3 ball over the pocket. And he's kicked the 1 onto the 3, and in goes the 3, and this is Stubb's chance to get out, although the 5 ball is awkward where it's sitting. Well, he's going to have to run through to the 6 ball here, I think. There's nothing much else he can do. He's going to have to run right through. And this is going to be a bit of a fiddly shot. Well, he left himself dead straight, so there was nothing he could do other than go forward. And this is not easy at all. And absolutely no idea if he's going to end up with a shot in this 5. Well, he's got the cut, but once again, look at where the 6 ball is. I mean, the 6 ball is in the worst possible place to try and play it up the table. Right near that middle pocket. Stubb going for the bank on the 9. I don't know whether there's a line on for be able to do that. I mean, the 5 does squeeze past the 9, no doubt about that. But it was asking so much to get the cut on the 5, but even more to get the cue ball over to where he would have a shot in the 6. And now he's hung the 5, and if Super Noob can get good on the 6, he's going to send Stubb to the 1 loss side. And that needs to slow up because he's going to be hooked. Oh dear. Well, that's a disaster. Oops. And I've pressed the wrong button again. So it's a kick in hope here. And Stubbs hanging on by the skin of his teeth. And that's... Is it going to go safe? Is it going to go behind the 7? Well, there's enough of it, I think. I don't know whether he can see it to pot it, though. No, he can't. And the other thing is the bank is not on either, I don't think, with that 9 ball being there. Is he going to have a blast to try and cut the 9 in and start moving things around the table? I think anything's possible here. Oh, what a shot. That's a cracking shot. And he's got the luck. And DJ Redo is beating Dirties by 4 racks to 0. So this is a pressure shot for Stubb on the 7 into a blind pocket. And still, of course, got to get the 9 ball. Going for the bank, and he's hung it, and it's match over because it's a gift. He's hit that far too hard. And it's gifted Super Noob the win, and Stubb over to the 1 loss side, and he loses by 7 racks to 6. And Spectre Dawn better be aware, because Super Noob, if he can take advantage of the chances he gets, then he can turn the match around just like he did there against Stubb. And so, Spectre Dawn is going to have his chance, but that's what happens when you start giving chances to someone who's getting 6 and out, and they can pot a ball. If they take those chances, they can turn one over on you, and that's what happened there. Bankster has beaten Mr. Strocum by 4 racks to 3. Meanwhile, Stubbs off to play DJ Redo, and we'll nip in and get ready for the match between Spectre Dawn and Super Noob. I'll have another drink. And Super Noob's maybe having a bathroom break or something, or a cup of coffee or whatever. No, what? Not Super Noob. Spectre Dawn I'm thinking about, aye. Super Noob's already in the room. So Spectre Dawn keeping him waiting. Well, Spectre Dawn's already getting the warning sound or the alarm to let him know the room's up. And he'd already finished his match a few minutes ago before that last match finished that we were watching, so he's well aware he's due up, and here we are. Here we go for the lag. And certainly that isn't Spectre Dawn in the top end there, because that lag was awful. So Spectre Dawn has won the lag. And he gets the break. The 9 ball's gone in. It'll be respotted. Spectre Dawn will remain at the table. And that one ball, I think, is very tight past the 4. Extremely tight. Maybe too tight. Well, here's a perfect example for Super Noob to show us how to take advantage of the handicap. Roll the 1 in. Needs to roll down with enough angle on the 2, which he's got. Has to find the gap to get on the 3. The 4's over the pocket up top side. Back down for the 5. And then, of course, the 6 ball is the money ball. And that's going to send all sorts of suspicious rumours going around if we see Super Noob taking advantage of the handicap and taking the 2 hot favourites out for tonight's tournament, or possibly sending them both to the 1 loss side. Well, he should be up 1-0 right now. Potman, I can't enter rooms. Well, what you want to do is restart your VP4. Maybe even restart your PC. So Spectre Dawn trailing 1-0. And Super Noob. Did he pot something off the break there? What happened there on the break? Did the 9 go in or something? I must have missed that because he's still at the table. Anyway, it's 1-0. And if he can get on this 5, yeah, he's going top side. Needs to go further than that though. Well, I've been like that for a long while with VP4, where I've always had to put the password in, and the only way I've managed to fix it is by doing a complete clean install, getting rid of every VP4 file in the PC and then reinstalling it all. And at the moment it's saving my password, and I'm not having to log in by typing it each time. Well, Spectre Dawn has got his chance to square the match. Well, this is going to have to have a controlled shot here. This is not a gimme, but he's played it well. And we're all square. 1 rack each. Meanwhile, if we look at the bracket, we can see that Stubb is 1-0 up against DJ Redo on the 1 loss side. Baxter and Forgate are still in their first rack. And, well, we're waiting to see what Super Noob can do. Spectre Dawn's jumped out of the snooker. Good evening, Albie. So, do you know who this Super Noob guy is, Albie? the guy with the house cue, but he has a jump cue. Because I was thinking it was suspiciously like Yama. Even though it's very early in the morning, Tokyo time. Well, I'll tell you what, if he suddenly gets very good in this virtual 9-ball tournament that's coming up at the end of the month, then it will be him. So it's got all the makings of somebody coming back to Virtual Pool 4 from Shooter's Pool, just to get their eye in with some tournaments and some practice up until when the main one starts, because he signed up for it. Well, Spectre Dawn rescuing the disappointment from the first rack and quickly going into the lead. Oh, scratch. So, Super Noob with his opportunity from ball in hand. Well, the 1, the 2, the 3 don't look a problem. The problem's going to be getting from the 3 down to the 4. That's going to be the clincher in this run out to the 6 ball for Super Noob. Now, the ideal shot would be to be somewhere in the line from that left middle pocket down to the 7. Now he's overhit that. And now it's either all out for the cut up the rail, which is not easy, into that top right hand corner. And he's overcut that by a country mile, and he scratched. So the chance is gone there. And Spectre Dawn shouldn't really have any problem. Well, he's left himself short in the 6. No sooner have I said it, he's left a problem. Cue ball having to run up and down. Well, he's clipped to 8, but it's actually done him no harm really, other than I think he might be dead straight in this 7. Well, he's going to have to pinch a wee bit of this 7 ball to get the angle to run through and come off the 2 rails and get down. And he's, if anything, he's just overdid it. So now the blind cut on the 8. And that was quite a good positional shot. Cue ball spinning off the bottom rail over to the right. And it's 3-1 to Spectre Dawn. Meanwhile, back on the 1 loss side, we can see that it's now 3-0 to Stubb against DJ Redo, and DJ Redo getting, what was it, the 5 ball? I can't read that. Or the 8 ball, I can't read it. Oh, he's getting 7 and out. That is so difficult to read for me, and that's sitting right in front of the PC. That text needs to be bigger. So, Spectre Dawn, 3-1 up at the table. 4 ball hanging over the bottom right, 3 ball up top side. He's looking to see if it goes past the 8. And it does, so he can just run through. Now, doesn't have to worry about getting on the 4. The worry is getting out on the 5. So he really wants to just get into the middle of the table. Play this 5 from, that angle. Doesn't give him a good idea how he's going to get on the 6, but it's the best he can do. Now, the problem is this 7 ball from the 5. If he can miss the 7 and maybe even run into the 9, well, he's clipped the 7, he's run into the 9, and it's perfect. That's the ideal outcome. Couldn't have asked for any better than that. And now he's just got to finish top side towards us on this 7 ball. So when I say that, I mean somewhere like that, but he's way, way short. Again, it's bedhead territory. He should have been another foot and a half up the table. He's just giving himself more work to do. Meanwhile, Stubb comfortably through in his first match in the 1-loss side. He beats DJ Redo 4-0. And that's got good pace on it. Into the middle of the table. And it's 4-1 for Spectre Dawn. So, something needs to happen for Super Noob to try and turn this match like he did against Stubb. But for that to happen, he's going to have to get the assistance of Spectre Dawn. And that doesn't immediately look like that's going to happen. Meanwhile, Spectre Dawn has come up dry in rack number 6. Super Noob playing the jump escape, but he hasn't got it safe. That little stunning cannon onto the 7 holds the cue ball nicely for the 2. So the 2, the 3 not a problem, the 4 not a problem. But the problem ball is not really a problem either. If you can just get good and out onto the 5, it goes past the 8 and the 6 easily, but only from a good line. Oh dear, well there's the gift that Super Noob was waiting on, and the mistake's been made. And is that going to change the luck of the match from that mistake by Spectre Dawn? He's gifted the rack to Super Noob, and now just 2 in it, but I think that's right. Yep, nothing doing. And what's more, Spectre Dawn does have a shot in the 1, he's got a shot in the 2, a shot in the 3, and more than likely going to drop onto that 4 into the middle pocket across there. That looks the likely shot that's going to happen. Well, he's got too much angle in this 3 to do that, I think. He can either cut this or reverse bank it. he's taking a chance by just running in to the 6 there. He's left himself dead square in the 4. And 10, you still haven't changed the pitch of that tournament. It's still a cow. There's the cue ball going. Well, you're doing nothing now. You're in watching this. My ball wiped its feet. So the one error from Spectre Dawn cost him the rack. Is he going to make amends by quickly restoring his 3-rack lead? So it's going to be 5-2 to Super Noob. To Spectre Dawn, sorry. I'm getting tired. The old brain's on the shutdown routine. And well, while this rack's underway, let's just double check what's happening here. We've got Bankster 3-1 up against Forgate, and the winner, of course, is going to be playing Stubb. And then the loser of this match that we're watching now moves over to the one-loss side. At the moment, it's looking as if it's going to be Super Noob, and it's certainly looking even more likely from the scratch there. And the result has just come through. Bankster has beaten Forgate by 4 racks to 1. No, it's not Romario, because Romario's got a much shorter attention span. He's got the attention span of a goldfish, Romario. And lo and behold, Spectre Dawn has made another glaring mistake on the 4 ball. Well, Spectre Dawn has taken liberties here. He's made 2 errors, and the first one cost him a rack. And this one here certainly should, if Super Noob can get out onto the 6. And that will do, as long as the 9 doesn't hook him. So this 6 ball, to get a 3rd rack on the board. I think Romario's dead. He's one of these guys who hasn't told anybody, he hasn't communicated with anybody online, no contact with anybody online, keeping everything private, and now we don't know if the bugger's dead or not, so I'm just saying he's dead. He's a COVID victim. R.I.P. Romario, unless he turns up out of the blue. So, Super Noob, 5-3 down, and all he has to do is roll the 4 in, and roll that 6 in. This is a tester at this distance. Rom ain't vegetating. Well, he hasn't been here for months. Best part of a year, I think, since he's been here. And we're back within 1. And this is taking very much the same shape as the Stubb match, where Stubb and of course Super Noob also started potting balls in the break that he's just done there, and he might have a 1-9 combo here. Admittedly, it's a long shot, but he might as well have a blast at it to square the match. He could cross bank the 1 ball, and he's gone for the combo, and the Yamaguchi Taru shot there has squared the match. 5 racks all. And another ball in the break, the 2 ball in the break. I think the 1's gone as well. And Yama starts pulling out all the shots when it gets to the nitty gritty. He's done it against Stubb and he's done it in this one, and we've got a 3-9 for the match. For the lead, sorry, not the match. I'm getting excited. Well, all of a sudden the pressure's all on Spectre Dawn to keep things tight. He's going to try and pot the 3, obviously. And this 5 ball goes past the 6. But the pressure's all on the pot of the 4. This is not a gimme. He's gone for it in the middle. Is he going to finish bottom of this 5? Yes, he is. And now he's going to have to get this safe, or an extremely thin cut. But he's taking a big risk doing that. Because Super Noob only needs the 5 and the 6. And is he going to get to the rail? That's a Romario shot. Or a Potman shot, I should say. Why did I say Romario? Because I was talking about Romario. He hasn't got to the rail, and it's a gift. And what the hell has Super Noob tried there? What the hell did he try there? Did that 5 not go? I thought that 5 went every day of the week. Well, that was weird. That 5 had to go. Or was it frozen? Right. I'll let him off of that then. Well, Spectre Dawn's got out of jail. Oh, there's Larry lurking in the background. I thought that, mind you, I must admit, I never went down to look at it. I thought it was as good as in the pocket. So, Spectre Dawn, 1 away. Well, there's Bedhead as well. And we've got the 3 and the 6 on the break. A shot in the 1, 2 down the table, so the cue ball's heading in the right direction, I think. Let's have a look at the angle. Yeah, just a stun down. Needs to keep rolling. No, he rushed at it again, didn't he? Which, I mean, if he'd actually given me enough time, I might have actually went down and had a look at that 5 ball. Meanwhile, Spectre Dawn is trying to find the worst possible place to leave the cue ball. Well, the 4 obviously cuts into the middle. And now if he can get on this 7, he should be home and dry. And, well, wouldn't it be a sore one if Super Noob ends up the 1 loss side and ends up taking Stubb out again? Stubb will be rather annoyed if that happens. So Spectre Dawn completing the formalities here. And he's going to win by 7 racks to 5, although he had a bit of a scare there. And he's managed to complete the job. So, Super Noob now moves across to the 1 loss side. I can find my cursor. Where the hell's the cursor went to? There it is. And Spectre Dawn is that was the hot seat match, wasn't it? Spectre Dawn moves through to the final because now we've got Stubb playing Bankster and Super Noob is waiting on the winner of it, and Bankster is 2 racks to 1 up. So we'll dive in there, and Bankster is getting the 5 ball as his extra money ball. And I'm going to be back in a second. I'm going to get some crisps because I'm starving. I'll be back in a minute. I'll mute my mic. That way you won't hear me. I'm getting the impression Stubbs getting a bit annoyed. This Bankster going to hold himself together here though. So the 3, just drop the 3 in, get off the rail. He needs to get off the rail so he can dig into this cue ball, and he's too close to the rail. He needs to get back off that 4, just stun it, and is Stubb going to stay the distance? So Bankster is through, and that 5 ball, money ball coming in very handy. He beat Stubb by 4 racks to 1. And Stubb taking it with all the grace that he normally does. And so Bankster is through to play Super Noob. And Super Noob is getting the 6 ball by the look of it. So this is the semi-final match to see who plays Spectre Dawn in tonight's final, if I'm right in thinking. And we're already underway. I'm going to mute my mic again while I have something else. This is because if I was smoking, I'd be smoking a fag right now. I wouldn't be eating. Yes, he's eating at the moment, but I don't want you to hear me eating because it'll just annoy you. Right, that's me back for now. I need a drink now. I'm eating a packet of those Walker's Max Double Crunch. I had got a pack of the what was the other ones? I think they're supposed to be like that McDonald's. What do you call it? The spicy chicken burger. They're supposed to be like that. There's actually quite a kick in them. I ate them yesterday, and now these ones are are the barbecue rib ones. And they're really crunchy, so they make an awful noise over the mic. Excuse me. Well, Kojak had lollipops, but it never stopped him smoking. Coochie coo. Is Stubb watching the stream, or is he gone away in a huff? So, Bankster 2-0 up against Super Noob. Remember, it's only a race to 4. Super Noob getting a 5 ball though. And Super Noob is going to get a chance. Not an easy one though, because the 4 ball's deep in the pocket. And never guaranteed you were going to have any good control to get on that 5. So, did I say he was getting the 5? My eyes have gone at this time of night. He's getting the 6 ball. Oh, he's trying to force that into the middle. I don't think that was ever on at that pace, but... Well, Bankster's got all the work to do. He's going to have to get not only on the 6, but... well, we can see the 7 will squeeze past the 9 from this side. So Super Noob with another chance, this time on the money ball. Gone for the bank, hasn't got there. Is it going to go safe? Well, sort of, but the reverse bank and run the cue ball around the table to try and get on the 7. But he's just played it with loads of top in the cue ball. He needed to get a lot of spin on it. So this, to get off and running, that's 1 on the board. Well, the first step is simply not buying them. That's the first step. And then the second step is when you're near where you buy them, you don't buy them again. I've managed to do that twice so far. I mean, I've got an opportunity every day to buy them when I'm at work, but I haven't. I ran out on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's when I ran out. I ran out on Tuesday, and normally I'll hang off to the next morning and go and get them then. I can usually get through the Tuesday evening, but I decided this week that was it. And it's been 3 days and counting. And with the money that I save from that, I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that new webcam. So we're all square. 2 racks all. Super Noob breaks off in rack number 5, and we've had a couple of balls in the break at least, I think. Yeah, we've lost the 4 and the 5. He's on the 1. And, well, he should be out here because all he's got to do is roll the 3 in and roll the 6 in, and he's on the hill. No, I'm not getting a new wheel. This wheel I've got, admittedly, there's one. In fact, the gear stick wasn't working there for a while, but now it's working again, which is even more amazing. But there's one, the paddle, the little paddle shifter thing in the back of this. It's not a metal one. It's just it's like a molded paddle shifter. The left one doesn't work, and I don't use them for the gears anyway. But I use sorry, the right one doesn't work. So I use the left one for the indicator, and then the right one I've actually configured to the middle dial on my Logitech Driving Force GT for an indicator. But everything else works, so until it literally falls apart in my hands, I ain't changing it, and I've had it for at least 10 years. You think about when Gran Turismo 5 came out, that, you know, I had it before then, and I had bought it for the release of Gran Turismo 5 because they had a deal for the Logitech Driving Force GT with the Gran Turismo logo on it. And that's when I bought it. So that tells you how long that's been out. So I had it before then, and I got an awful lot of use of it on Gran Turismo, I can assure you. I was racing through the night, up to all hours of the night, with the guys from the States and Canada in the little league. Well, it's £46 each time for 100 fags that I was buying. I was buying Players Super King green filter, and that's £46 odd each time, and that's like 90 quid a week, easily. 90 quid a week in cigarettes. And I remember back in the day, my dad gave up. My dad gave up Woodbine cigarettes when they went up to 12 pence a packet. That shows you how long ago that was. But I always remember them. They went up to 12 pence a packet in the budget, and he said, that's it then, I'm not spending any more. And he never smoked another day in his life. But I mean, it is crazy when you think about it, spending 40 odd quid for 100 things that you're just going to set fire to and suck in the exhaust of them. But to anybody that says, "Oh, I won't get hooked on them," yes, you will. It's getting off of them. But the thing is my opinion on getting off of them is not actually buying. It's not falling into the trap of buying nicotine patches and nicotine gum and spending just as much as you were spending in cigarettes on other stuff to try and stop you getting the craving. The only way of doing it is by sheer willpower, by no other method. There's no point in saving money on one thing and spending a fortune on another thing just to give you some sort of self-satisfaction that you're doing something good to yourself. That's a load of bull. That's the psychology of salesmanship. You know, don't smoke cigarettes, but spend a fortune on these patches. These will help you. It's a load of bullshit. I don't profess to believe in any of that stuff. It's a lot cheaper in your mind, but it's still costing you money to buy the refills and batteries and whatever else in the bloody the solutions and everything, all the flavoured solutions. You're better just doing it the way I'm doing it, and that is it, cold turkey, you know, and sticking with it that way, because that way you're saving an absolute fortune. It's my way or the highway. That's the way I see it. nothing at all other than giving it up. So we're into the final rack decider in this semi-final, and this is to see if Super Noob can get revenge on Spectre Dawn from sending him over to the one-loss side. He had a chance to maybe cause an upset with Spectre Dawn, but he might have another go at him if Bankster can't get the job done. And Super Noob all out for the cut in the one. He's not prepared to hang about. Gone for the bank in the two. And he's got away with it. He could be in trouble here if Bankster screws the head on properly here. A half decent safety should lock this cue ball away. Get the spin working, and it's going to escape. He hasn't got it in deep enough behind that 8 ball, and he's left Super Noob a chance. Well, maybe if they legalise marijuana, you know, you can go to a marijuana shop and buy your cigarettes there. Maybe I'd take it up again. Get off of one drug onto another one, and then work my way up to heroin. Now, what have I missed there? Yeah, I thought Super Noob had potted the 6. So Super Noob wins the match by 4 racks to 3, and is going to get a second goal. Oh, Stubbs out to recuperate his losses. He's in playing Shooters Pool Pro in the fast 9 ball. Well, here we go. The final to 9. And, well, Super Noob's still getting 6 and out, which is a very generous handicap, because he can make the use of that if he gets his chances. Well, he's billiarded the 4 in as well. Now he can lock Super Noob up on that 9 ball. And that will do. And I'll have another little crunch in a second or two. ball. And that's the type of thing that can just turn the match completely straight away. Letting the cue ball run, and it goes into the middle pocket. Free gift for Super Noob. Well, I think that that marijuana when you were younger, Larry, I think that affected your brain about your choices in life. You had the choice to get yourself a half decent mouse and you went and bought a bloody trackball. That was your biggest mistake. Put that down to a life experience. Well, Spectre Dawn is trifling with the pockets here. And he's got himself in trouble and going to have to get lucky. Oh, he's going to get lucky. He's got Super Noob in trouble. Good kick. Surely Steve's not in here looking to see if this match is nearly finished because he's got to wreck something. That always gets me worried. He's going to start switching things off and restarting things and mucking about again by the look of it. I think that's why he's in spine. He's desperate to hit a button. Well, Spectre Dawn got the good kick safe there and gets the reward. Stubbs obviously either lost his match. Did he win that match? That tournament he was in? Well, there shouldn't be any obvious problems here. Well, what's today's date? The 5th, so we've got 3 weeks tonight until the virtual 9-ball World Championships. So 3 weeks to get your practice in, 3 weeks to buy a new mouse if you need one. 3 weeks to practice your jump shots because you're going to need them. And 3 weeks to get more people to sign up. But we all know with the amount of sign-ups we get, we're still going to get half a dozen or more forfeits, usually. So 1 rack all. Tournament going along at a reasonable pace. I mean, what time are we? We're 10 minutes to 10, so we're still 10 minutes short of the 3 hours. And that's with a full house in it tonight, which is not bad going. I've got an idea. Just hang on a minute, guys. I've never tried this before. Hang on. There we go. Let's see what's happening in Shooters Pool on a Friday night. Look at that. 6 players there, 4 players there, 10, 12, 15, 18, 20. Oh, goodness me, there's loads. Now, I don't see Yamaguchi Taru there. There's a whole stack of people there. Oh, I like. What's in the match rooms? 2, 3, 4, 5. There's loads in there as well. Now, this should allow me to jump from game to game. Yes, it does. Well, just a quick spy in and shooter's pool, see what's happening. Seeing who's defected, who the defectors are, and who they're still, if they're still in there. So Spectre Dawn, wrong side of the 7. How do you? I don't see a counter in shooter's pool unless I'm missing the obvious, because you know, obviously in VP4 you can't miss it. You can see how many players are in, but I don't see where they are. I mean, it's a bit like going to the home page in VP4 because it tells you how many people are online, but it doesn't tell you that doesn't tell you how many's in the lobby. Top left. Where? Top left in shooter's pool. Well, I'm looking at the top left. Oh, aye, wait a minute. I see them now. 158. And players playing 108. And then you look at VP. I mean, this is what sickens me. You look at VP4. How many we got in the lobby? Many we got. We've got 69. Oh, I hope Steve's watching this. And they've got 40 more players playing than what's in here. I mean, I shouldn't have done that because that's now depressed me even more. No, it's not. It's not free. It's free for gratis players that want to get into a room and play, but of course you don't have any queues other than the house queues. It's the same as in here. What do you mean it's free? Since when has it been free? If you want a queue, you've got to buy a queue, have you not? Or have you read something I haven't read? Oh, my sub ran out as well. I've still got, what, 1,500 or something in my credits? Or something like that. At least I think I have. I'm sure there's about 1,500. Yeah, I can still play online as well. But I don't think it would make any difference in here if Steve did anything like that. That would make absolutely no difference whatsoever. But how are they going to get revenue in if they don't have a regular funding, regular account renewal? Are they getting it all through their sponsorship? Anyway, Spectre Dawn has got some daylight. Well, they have to be getting income one way or another. They can't just, pay for all the servers and everything like that out of thin air, or just straight out of the pocket. They have to have some form of financing for it. Well, Super Noob trying to force the spin and angle to get up the table for the 3. He's missed the 2, but he's almost got away with it. But Spectre Dawn will be out of the jump stick. Oh, I'll be all have gone to bed already. It's 11 o'clock at night. I'll have another crunch. Well, the only thing I can think that sellers have the advantage on Shooter's Pool in terms of revenue. There's only one thing. Well, it's more than one thing, but it's the fact that VP4 is on different platforms in terms of the different handhelds, whether mobile devices and that. You've got all the different versions that are out there. So he's selling them. He's selling VP4 as an app for like what, £2 or £3 or something. So he's bound to be getting revenue coming in from them, because there'll be people will be seeing that on the sites and downloading it and trying it and paying a couple of quid for it. He's bound to get revenue coming in that way. That's more than what Shooter's Pool's getting. But whether that's enough revenue to keep everyone getting paid for, I doubt. So Shooter's Pool is only on one format. It's only on the PC online and offline. But it's not on any other devices, I don't think. So, Spectre Dawn with a slender lead, 3 racks to 2 in this race to 9. Super Noob getting 6 and out if he can get a sniff. And all Spectre Dawn has to do to assure the win is not to miss. And not to be giving Super Noob any easy gifted racks. And he can only do that by not missing, especially getting to the business end of the rack. I don't know. It still just concerns me as to whether Steve's paying any attention to what's going on there. Does he know? Is he watching this? Does he see there's 108 players playing that game? Is he asking himself why that's the case? Is he looked at the price of his queues and they're far too expensive? He doesn't have the same amount of choice that you've got, and all of these things. Is he prepared to invest a substantial amount and to try and get the game to that stage? Well, I don't think so. So I think we're stuck with what we've got, and we better make the most of it while it's here. That's the way it's looking. Meanwhile, Spectre Dawn has opened up the gap. It's now gone to 2, but that can change very, very quickly with this sort of setup. Ball in the break, but no shot in the 1. And the other thing is, we've got the 6 and the 8 ball very adjacent to that middle pocket. Yeah, that was asking for that. Now, has he got a clean path blocked off, or can he catch the edge of that without scratching? Is he going to try and hit the knuckle? He's just going to try and hit the point and not scratch. He's fouled 8. Now, Super Noob has ball in hand. And, well, there's nothing obvious other than he's going to try and combo the 6 in. And in it goes. That's why it can change so quickly. So the safety got the reward there for Super Noob. And he's back within 1. Looking for a ball. And the 1's gone in. Look where the 7 is. That's over the middle pocket. He's got a thin cut in the 2. And that needs to bounce. And this match could turn very, very quickly. Now, does he have to play the jump cue? Yeah, maybe he did. Well, now it's a tricky one. A little billiard onto the 7 just to catch the edge of the 7. Yeah, he stunned it too hard. He didn't. I don't know whether he went for the pot and half-heartedly went for the billiard, but he's thrown it away there. And he rushed it again far too quick, didn't get himself set, didn't give himself enough time. And so Spectre Dawn has got a chance to restore the lead. That's a good one. Well, slightly straight, but the only worry here is whether he tries to do something crazy and hold the cue up there. He'd be better off letting the cue ball come down the table and back up. Well, he can just drop this in dead weight and just try and leave the cue ball in the corner. I mean, just get it to the pocket and no more, or run up and down the table, but he needs to avoid hitting the 8 itself. Yeah, well, he's managed to draw back off it. I didn't think that was on. That'll do it. So, looking to restore the 2-rack lead. A little short bust from Super Noob there, but just rushed, just in a bit of a hurry. In fact, maybe these guys are in a hurry to get something to eat or whatever, because we've been at it for 3 hours and 4 minutes now almost. So into rack number 9. The break is dry. There's no shot for Super Noob. Well, he's went for the kick and the 1, in it goes. And he's hooked in the 2. And of course there's also now a nice little hidey hole up that top corner of the table there. That can be put well to use where the 4, the 8 and the 9 ball are. If you can get the cue ball down in amongst them, or the object ball, you can have your opponent in trouble. And that's going to end up behind a 5, I think. That's a good one. So, jump stick to the rescue again for Super Noob. And a good cut on the 2. He certainly jumps like Yamaguchi Taru. Well, Spectre Dawn cannot miss this 4-ball. And the one that's going to decide the rack is going to be getting to the 7. It's probably going to have to be an 8-9 combo. The look of this. And that'll all depend on how good he gets in this 7 as to whether he's ever going to be able to do that. So there's still a chance here for Super Noob. That might be behind the 8. I think he's okay. Just okay, but of course now, well, he's going to have to just roll to the side rail, leave a high cut to try and play the combo. But this to double the lead to 6-3. And he's missed it. And how's the 8-ball? Well, that's not bad, but well, if he's going to try, he's going to have to go for the bank. Because I don't think you can thin cut that hard enough for it to get to the pocket, even using the 9-ball. And in the end, he scratched both ways. So Spectre Dawn gets his 3-rack lead. So just a reminder, guys, that we know the clocks will go forward here in a couple of weeks' time. Friday night 9-ball, unless Tin changes it, is going to go to 8 o'clock, which then means I will definitely not get to most of the, well, probably none of them, because it will run too late. It will run till after 11 o'clock at night easily when it's starting at 8. So unless Tin changes it to keep it at 7, then this and maybe next week until April will be the last one for the rest of the year, apart from the times that I'm off on holiday. That was the thing I always used to do. Whenever the clocks changed, I always used to change Friday night 9-ball back to the time it was. Oh, cue ball's tracking. So, the error's been made. Now, can Super Noob get to the 6-ball? Well, he's looking at playing another combo here in the 6. Yeah, all of a sudden that's a shot of desperation, methinks. Spectre Dawn gave that every chance to drop dead weight. Going to have to be cutting this 4 from the middle of the table. And he's just short by a good few inches again. Left this really awkward. Might bank it, or might play safe, in that matter. Well, if Super Noob's going to have a blast at everything, then Spectre Dawn just has to bide his time. But he's actually got the bank. He's landed on the 4. He's kicked the 6 into play. I think he's got the wrong angle. He's running towards the 6. And if he stays this side of the 6, he's going to have no shot. And that's exactly what he's got. Now that is extremely tight past the 8-ball, but it does go. You've got to send it up to that jaw. And he just hit it into it, and that might be his chance gone. Well, maybe not. Spectre Dawn might be looking at the line to kick this into this bottom left hand corner, or he's just trying to tuck the cue ball away. Either way, it's a half decent safety. Now, has he got the cover? Not quite, and the cut is on for the rack for Super Noob. This to get back within 2, and he's overcut it. How would you believe he would? Now he's going to scratch as well. That's the worst possible outcome. But he had a glimmer of a hope there, and he actually managed to overcut the 6. Ends up scratching and gives Spectre Dawn a free go to stretch the lead even further. Well, Spectre Dawn is winning far too many of these Friday night 9 balls, and the reason he is because although he's making the odd mistake, he's making a lot less than everybody else in the tournaments, albeit he was in the back end of the handicaps a couple of weeks ago. But in the tournaments that he has won, he's pretty much breezed through them all by playing consistent 9 ball, by very few errors, and by pouncing on the chances he's getting. And he's now only 2 away from another Friday night 9 ball. Mind you, that's a quick way of doing it. So he's got a long way to go before he can match my my record. Sunday snooker. Ask me what that is, Pop Man. Not Sunday snooker in VP4. That is. This is back in VP3 day. Back then, and that was when we used to have loads of people in the tournament. That was when we had a proper Sunday night snooker. So, Spectre Dawn, let's have a look at this 6 ball before he gets there to see what he's going to do with this thing. Well, if you look at it that way, he could almost cheat that in, but the chances are he might try and move it. He might try and do it right now off this 4 like that and hope he gets on the 5, which he hasn't. And he's going to try and bail with the jump stick. I was saying that Spectre Dawn, he's won like, he's going to win 3 out of the last, or 2 out of, is it 2 out of the last 3 or 3 out of the last 4? But if I remember right, I won 5 Sunday snookers in a row one time in VP3, which is a tall order considering there wasn't any handicaps though. But 3 out of 4, isn't it? Aye. I need to mute my mic. The thing is what this usually does is it usually would bring other guys into the tournament to try and take Spectre Dawn down, but it's not. It's the same guys every week. So it's another comfortable win for Spectre Dawn. Let's have a look at the bracket. Hang on a minute. I'm trying to move the chat window down so I can see the bloody bracket, and it's not moving. Anyway, the winner gets $785 V. The runner-up, who is Super Noob, gets 390, and third place gets 260, fourth gets 195, and fifth gets 145. So we're all over in 3 hours and 18 minutes, folks. And that is it for Friday Night 9 Ball. Chase won around as a hustler. Oh, he's got a long way to go to be a hustler. You have to actually be able to pot a ball. But he's certainly not a hustler. Right, so it's Spectre Dawn all the way then. Comfortable win this week. Who's going to take it next week? We wait and see. So until then, folks, I'm going to bid you good night. And thank you for your company. Thanks for being here. And I will see you again soon. So stay safe, keep your distance, wear your mask, whatever else. And I'll see you again soon. So good night.